Good morning, campers. Holy crap. Okay, I'm going to stop here for a minute. I just want to show you the trail. That lake is the trail. And was that a crazy video or what? Crossing that crazy river, that's what set me back a day and a half. I'll have to bring you up to speed more on what's going on with that. But on Monday, well, Saturday and Sunday we had a heat wave. Temps were in the upper 80s, heat index in the 90s, humidity in the 90s. There were hikers who were cutting their day short, stopping at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because they were getting dizzy and nauseous. Early signs of heat exhaustion. I was feeling woozy a little bit, not bad, but I could tell the heat was getting to me. I was drinking more water than I've almost ever drank on trail. That was Saturday and Sunday, miserable, just drenched in sweat, horrible. I went to bed Sunday night, just wearing my underwear on top of my sleeping pad, just like that. By morning, it was cold and raining. Temperature had dropped to the 50s, and it was raining. And it's been like that ever since. Today, it's finally warmed up. So Monday, cold, raining, miserable hiking. I only did 7.5 miles that day, half as much as I was hoping to do. And I got to a shelter, and I was like, that's it, I'm done. My hands are numb, I'm cold, I'm wet. This is miserable. So I got to the shelter, made it a night of it. Then yesterday, got to another shelter. I was planning on going past that river crossing and going a few more miles to a stealth site on a pond. Well, I passed a hiker coming the other way, a Sobo hiker, southbound, and he said, the river is raging. He showed us a video of it, and we were like, whoa. And he said, people are not crossing. People who were at the shelter just before that crossing turned back and went back to the shelter and said, we're waiting out another day here because it's treacherous. It literally could sweep you away and you could drown. So we heard that and we all decided, well, let's stay at the two shelters back. It's only 3.6 miles to the shelter that's right to here. So there's a shelter about 4 miles, 3.9 miles back. That's where I stayed. Then 3.6 miles beyond that is the next shelter, and then 0.3 miles is the river. So a total of about 3.9 between where I stayed and where the river is. So I am way behind schedule. I'm already a full day behind. There's no way I can get to A-Ball Bridge tomorrow. That was my original hope if I could do the miles I wanted to do. And even though the terrain is getting easier, you can see that does not make it easy. I either have to just trudge through it and stay wet all day, and the water's cold and it just robs your body heat. And I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible, because as soon as your body warms up the water that's in your shoes and in your socks, and then you get it cold again, you just keep sapping your body's heat, and your body has to generate more heat again to warm it up again. Your feet start going numb. Anyway, it's a miserable situation. This has been the worst 5 days in a row of a backpacking trip I've ever seen. And that's all everyone's talking about. The other problem is people are running out of food. Because what people do is they say, okay, I'm going to take 8 days to go through the 100-mile wilderness. So they carry 4 days of food, and then they arrange for a food drop. And someone meets them at a road crossing, or they have to go off trail a little bit to a trailhead or to a logging road and meet someone to pick up food for the rest of the 100-mile wilderness. Well, people who did that, now they were stuck. They're like, wait, I can't move forward. I can't get to my food drop because the river's going so high. I got to spend an extra day out here. And they were getting low on food. People are literally down to one protein bar, and they've got to make it to their food drop. So luckily I have enough food to make it all the way till Saturday. Today's Wednesday. I got to get to A-Ball Bridge Campground Friday night. That's really my goal. I don't want to be 2 days behind schedule if I can avoid it. So I'm going to get going. I'm going to put my phone in a bag, plastic bag. It's not supposed to rain the rest of the day, but with all this water around, I just don't want to chance my phone getting wet. If something happens, I'll whip it out, but I'm probably going to turn it off just to save the battery. So hopefully I won't see a moose or anything exciting like that. All right. So the trail has leveled out somewhat, smoothed out a little bit. It's made hiking a little bit easier. I'm really going to plug away today. I try to get at least 20 miles, maybe in the low 20s, 22, 23, depending on where the shelter is. If I go to the shelter. I may not go to the shelter. I may just tent if it's more convenient for me, mileage-wise. Really would like to get to A-Ball Campground Friday mid-afternoon. See if they have any spots available. Any tent sites. If they do, great. I'll pay to tent there for the night because I'll be very close to the kiosk where you sign up for the birches for the next day, and that puts you in a position to go up to Katahdin. So it would be Friday night, A-Ball Campground, Saturday night, the birches, and then Summit Katahdin on Sunday. I got a lot of miles. I got 47 miles between here and A-Ball Bridge. So that's, it's almost 11 a.m. It's covering 47 miles between the rest of today, tomorrow, and Friday. And the reason I want to get there in the mid-afternoon on Friday, so I have time to set up my tent, obviously, but also do my laundry and shower and buy some food. So anyway, we'll see how things work out. So I'm back on the trail. I just stopped at the Brook lean-to for lunch break, and I did something I rarely, if ever, do. I've only done it a few times on this trail. I had a hot lunch, a warm lunch, I guess you could say. I boiled some water and used it to reconstitute my tabbouleh. And Crossword showed up and sat there and chatted, and I filtered some water, refilled my water supply, and repacked a few things and put my fupa back on. I had that in my pack because it just gets soaking wet and it's just awkward with a Ziploc bag inside and everything in it. But now it's, it's not raining. It's still a little chill in the air, so I got my rain jacket on just to keep myself from getting too much of a chill. If I heat up, I'll take it off, but it's mostly flat or downhill, except at the very end where I'm planning to go today. So here's my plan. This is another thing I just did. I figured out my plan for the rest of the day. I've already come, whoa, a big step there. I've already come 11.7 miles, I believe it is. Believe it or not. It's 1 o'clock right now. That included the river crossing and that break I just had, which was, I just spent an hour there. It's just too long, way too long. But the terrain is flat or downhill, and it's 11.4 miles to the next shelter. So that makes for a 23.1 mile day. Ooh boy, and I have a river crossing here. Goodness gracious. So this is the kind of stuff, I gotta get across that. So I'm probably gonna get wet. Well, I might be able to rock hop. That's a tricky one. So anyway, that's my plan. 11.4 miles to the next shelter. Makes for a 23.1 mile day. My biggest day yet, by over 2 miles, I think. But it's fairly easy walking, I believe. And I'm more than halfway done. It's 1 o'clock. I figure if I can maintain about a 2.3 mile an hour pace, which I should be able to do on this terrain, that's 5 hours of hiking. I'll get there by 6 at the shelter. And there's looks like there's some good tent sites, about room for half a dozen tents or so. So I don't think that most of the people who are at the shelter I was at or the next shelter, I don't think they're going to go that far. I don't imagine too many people are pushing 20 miles today, but maybe they will because it's easy terrain. So I don't want to dilly-dally. I don't want to get there too late. So if I can get there, 6 o'clock at the latest, I'll be in good shape. I'll take a couple of quick snack breaks on the way there. I've got a snack. I got some trail mix in my pouch here. I'll eat half of that in about 2 hours, and then I'll eat the rest of it. So at about 3 o'clock, and I'll eat the rest of it probably around 4:30, an hour and a half later. And that'll be the day. And then tomorrow will be, if the weather cooperates, it's supposed to rain a little bit. Tomorrow will be a 22-mile day. That'll get me to within about 11 miles of A-Ball Bridge Campground. So that'll be a short day. I'll be able to get to A-Ball Bridge Campground, right after lunchtime. And if they have tent sites, I'll check in and I'll pay for a tent site for the night. That'll set me up good to register for the birches on Saturday morning, get me to the birches campsite 9 miles from there. And that's another short day. And then, you know, I'll have time to do my laundry and stuff at the A-Ball campground before I go to the Birches. And then Sunday morning, I'm summiting Katahdin, baby. That's the plan. Hopefully everything works out and the weather cooperates. Fingers crossed. Okay, it's about 3:30. I stopped to take off my rain jacket. It's getting warm. I had to put on my bandana and my arm sleeves because the bugs started coming out. My legs are getting bitten up. I forgot to have my wife treat my new calf sleeves with permethrin. So my legs are itching like crazy. I'm gonna have to put hydrocortisone cream on them when I get to camp. Speaking of camp, it's less than 6 miles. It's about 2.5 miles to Antlers campsite, which is a tent site. I guess it has a privy there. So I've done 17 miles so far, and I'm feeling it. 17.2. My feet are screaming at me. I had to take a couple of vitamin I. And the terrain isn't too bad. Swampy, buggy, just unpleasant. This 100-mile wilderness is not pleasant. I'm sorry. And I haven't seen anything where I've gone, whoa, well, that's a beautiful view. That's been worth it. And maybe because Whitecap Mountain was all socked in with clouds because of all the rain we've had. But I don't get it. I don't know why people want to section hike the 100-mile wilderness except for this northern part where it's marginally easy and there's lots of campsites, but you got to do a lot of water crossings. That's the other thing. Apparently Maine has never been introduced to the invention called the bridge. You're getting wet a lot in Maine, folks. Unless they're having a serious drought, which they were having a bit of a drought until Sunday night when it rained cats and dogs. And all the rivers are flooding and people are taking their life into their own hands trying to cross some of these rivers that don't have bridges. I don't get it. I don't understand. You go to other states, there are bridges across the tiniest little things, 2 feet wide, 2, 3, 4 feet wide things that, aren't that big a deal. And there's a little footbridge across it. Oh, isn't that nice? Not in Maine, baby. They don't believe in that. They do have bog boards or boardwalks through some of the bogs. Those are in disrepair and they are slippery as hell. I slipped on one. My foot went right in the water. I almost fell off the damn thing. If you're going to do something, guys, do it right. You got to put some traction on them. You got to cut little X's in them or mount some metal screening to them because those things are treacherous. Unless they were over water, I just walked next to them. I'm like, I'm not stepping on these things. It's like stepping on like a greased pole. It's just terrible. So anyway, not impressed with the 100-mile wilderness so far. I know I've got, let me think, I got 6 more miles today, 22 tomorrow. That's 28, and then 11, so 39 miles or so to go. It's quite a bit. Maybe the best is yet to come. Somehow I doubt it, but I guess we'll see. So I have a dilemma. There's a rope here across this raging creek. There seems to be up there a spot where I might be able to cross, but it'll look pretty dicey. I went up there and my feet are definitely going to get wet, but I won't be up to my knees in water. The problem is this is not in the guidebook. It doesn't talk about this crossing. And it's not in AWOL, it's not in Guthook. So I don't know if this is new because of the storm or what's going on. But I'm debating going up there and trying my hand up there, see if I can't stay more dry than I can down here. Because I'm definitely going in at least to the knees, probably mid-thigh if I try to cross here. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the trail. There's a blaze. And the trail, waterlogged, muddy. Look at this. Come on now. Seriously? What am I supposed to do here? Jeez, God. What kind of trail maintenance is that? I feel like I'm in the Amazon jungle. The Amazon rainforest or the jungle of Borneo or somewhere primitive. All these mosquitoes and swamps and water crossings up to your thigh. Like, what's happening? This is supposed to be a national scenic trail. That's what they call it. A national scenic trail. It's like a torture fest. Even the people go, after you get off white camping, it's a lot easier. It's really smooth. It's real smooth sailing. Smooth sailing all the way to Baxter. Those people are outright liars. It is still rooty, rocky, twisty, turny, wet, muddy, slippery. Bog boards that you can kill yourself on. They're so slippery. Water crossings. You can't go the whole day without getting your feet wet multiple times. Oh, I can't wait to see the skin on my feet. Being in waterlogged shoes all day. I don't understand. You would never take, your family member. Oh, let's go for a nice walk on the Appalachian Trail, everyone. Come on, let's go. They'd be like, "Are you trying to kill us? Is that what you're doing? You're gonna kill us in the woods here. You're gonna just let us die of natural causes on this trail because there are about 100 things that can kill us right now, and then you're gonna leave us out here, leave our bodies to rot." That's what they would think. If you took them out here and said, "Come on, this will be fun," they'd be like, "I'm calling the authorities, and I'm turning around and getting the hell out of here because this is crazy. I can't even believe I'm still in the United States of America." Whew. All right. I hope I'm less than a mile from the camp. I'll be checking here at 6 o'clock. 5 minutes. Because I'm ready for this day to be over. I was ready for this day to be over before it even began, frankly.